Yo, what is up, everybody? It has been forever and a day. It feels like, at least, and so we're still out here. We're still playing One Piece when we can. Life has just been super hectic, super busy, and I literally, at the time of recording this, it's been like a week and a half since I've even been able to sit down and play anything. So I believe the last video that was posted was some playtesting with ISSHO for 04. So I just wanted to, since I am familiar with it, and I'm just trying to kind of tuck away a video here for the channel. We will play a game or two after we go over this deck list, but this is the deck list that I am toying around with right now. I wanted to wait till I had it a little bit more finalized, but other than a few ratio choices and techs, I think this is kind of what I'm comfortable with for myself. I'm not saying this is an optimal build, and I'm open for anybody to take this build and definitely optimize it, or just play with it however you want to. So obviously we have the leader, ISSHO, Dawn 1. At the all your opponents get -1 cost. At the end of the turn, you can tap one of your Dawn and set one of your characters with a cost of 5 or less as active. So I like to use this a lot with my blockers, the Borsellino and the Sabos, just because you can swing with them, have a Dawn up, rest it at the end of the turn, and then still get use out of your blockers in the next turn. So that's just the way I've been doing it. So we do have Ezo. It's a 2k counter, but if you do need to play it, you can rest one of your opponent's 4 cost or less characters. It's just come in handy a few times during playtesting. So right now I'm fine with this. 10 drop Dofi instead of running the 10 drop Kuzan. I run the Dofi just so they're close to the end. If your opponent's got a bunch of blockers and say you need to keep the Ezos in hand, you can drop this, tap them all out for a turn, survive a turn, and then go in and try to finish out the game. Kuzan, I always go back and forth on ratios for Kuzan in any deck, but I think for a 4 cost 5k body, as long as you can get it out, it's fine. And if you can't get it out, then you could always use it to discard for Sakazuki, because if you're not going to play this to replace itself in the hand, then you can at least discard it since it's not a counter for Sakazuki, and kind of deal with some bodies on your opponent's side of the board. Because if you're at the point of playing Sakazuki versus Kuzan, as long as your hand looks good or your board's in a decent shape, personal opinion, play the Sakazuki, trash the Kuzan, and then at least you're kind of trading out, but you are losing a big body out of your hand. So it's probably not the most optimal thing, but it's kind of how I look at things. Surush is 2k counter. Very rarely are you going to play it to the board, obviously. Hina is one of those cards that I've been playing around with. I think Hina's cool, being able to block, and then you basically 6 costs or less, they can't attack during the turn. So you kind of shut down one of your opponent's swings while also getting a block. And at 6k, you're probably going to be able to, if you want to save the body, save it pretty easily. So it's kind of the same thing as Borsellino's being 6k on your opponent's turn, but obviously Borsellino can't be KO'd by effects on your opponent's turn, so there's a reason it's the best blocker in the game. We do have the Garps. These are just 2ks. I've kind of toyed around with ditching them. I don't play it as often as I would like, so that's why there's only 2 in the deck, but it is what it is. This is one of those cards that'll probably be swapped out with something in future builds. We do run 2 of the 8 cost ISSHOs. You don't want to see it too often, but you do want to see it. So for now, 2 is fine. Fukuro, though it's not Navy or anything like that, it's still for 3 costs. It's a blocker that can't be KO'd by effects on either turn. So this is a good alternative to Borsellino to have on the field. We run 3 of the Branu. It's a counter at least, if anything, but I don't really want to see it all the time. I think generally you're going to see anything that you want to see regardless, and you also want to be careful not to be trashing too many of your cards that are lower cost. More so the ISSHOs and the Doffies, you don't want to have to end up discarding those just because you were getting a search off. So early game, search with this. It does have the 3k body, so it's not horrible, but yeah, that's just, it's nice to have a searcher for something. at all times in a deck. So we run 3 right now. Sabo, great blocker. So on play, none of your characters can be KO'd by effects until the start of your next turn, so you get some protection from card effects. And if you play this kind of early, you know, against red especially, you kind of are preemptively protecting for the possible counters out of life. So, but you also do get to draw 2 and trash 2, so you kind of cycle some cards. This card, the Bond Clay from Starter Deck 10, or Starter Deck 8, not 10, sorry. I just think it's an interesting card. So it's a 5 cost with a 6k body, so it's decent stats, but if you throw a Dawn on it, at the end of battle in which this character battles your opponent's character, you may KO your opponent's character that battle, and if you do, KO this character. So if you absolutely need to, this can clear out a very problematic body because there's no like cost restriction on what it can KO. Yes, you do lose this body, but I think it would be worth it. I haven't actually played with testing with this. I just put this in because I was kind of thinking about it in Smoker, especially for like OP-03 format. I just have this tendency of not being able to get the cost reduction that I want to see to utilize certain cards. So yeah, even though it's not a counter, it kind of is a counter because you can, if you can get it on board, it sticks. So technically you could like play this and then play the Sabo and then it's protected for a turn. Next turn you could use it to swing into something big and problematic and, you know, basically sack it and self-destruct, and then you're good. So, and I guess a turn like that, even though that would be a 10 drop turn, you do get the blocker on board if you're going to utilize Sabo with Bond Clay just so he sticks long enough to be able to swing. So it's just an idea. This is very much so something that will possibly be kicked out of the deck, but we'll just see. Moving into the events, we only run 3. We got the Paradise Waterfall. I just like being able to have a lower cost counter so that if, you know, to utilize the leader ability of tapping one, we can, if we have 2 at the end of the turn, we can still utilize the Paradise Waterfall. And then that also gives us the ability to say, you know, we say we have Sabo on field, we swung with Sabo, we untap Sabo, we block with Sabo, it stays on the field, and then you could use Paradise Waterfall. Like, even if you blocked with this, you could use Paradise Waterfall to counter out, restand the Sabo, and then get another block out of it. So just the restanding abilities of different cards in this deck really help you utilize things like your blockers. And then obviously you have Punk Gibson. I think we all at this point know what Punk Gibson does, but this is basically the counterpart to the card from OP-04, Spider's Web, which they're both 4K counters, but this one sets one of your own characters active, Spider's Web, while Punk Gibson taps out one of your opponent's characters with the cost of 4 or less. And of course, Punk Gibson off trigger just rest a character regardless of cost, and this becomes a 2k boot buff to a leader if it comes off life, but you're probably just gonna, unless you absolutely need to, you're probably just gonna throw it in your hand and use it as the counter. So that's just a quick overview of the deck. I know a lot of people in the last video were asking what the deck list was. That was a completely different deck list, and this is, I think, really close to what I'm comfortable with for like a final deck list. So I just wanted to go over that real quick with you guys. So give me just 2 seconds, we'll flip around, do the flippy do, and we'll get into a game or two. All right, looks like we're gonna play against Rebecca here. This matchup's always kind of wonky. This is actually one of the first matchups I had when playtesting OP-04 back whenever it came out in Japan. So let's just see what our opponent chooses here. Our first hand, yeah, we'll mulligan on that. So we're going first. There's not really anything we can do, so we'll just go ahead and pass off and hope that they do not have like Coliseum, Rebecca effect. So they're gonna get their Searcher off here. That's fine. 6 in hand. What do they need? 6 or less cards in hand, so they can still leader ability if they need to. So they did, and they trashed a Luffy. So we have the Bond Clay. We do have the Garp. but that needs to swing. So I think we'll keep the 2K counter in hand. We don't have any other counters really, so we can just go real big and try to go ahead and get a life. We do have the life difference here. We're at 4, they're at 5 starting out, just because Rebecca can't attack. So they're probably, if they don't take it, they're gonna counter out. Yeah, to reduce the hand size to get the leader ability off next turn, which is fine. They're still at 6 here. They're on 4. Kairos, once Kairos hits the field, that's where we kind of, well, Kairos in the Coliseum. I mean, Kairos still works with Rebecca, but they have the Coliseum and Rebecca, and then like 2 Kairos on field. It can be very problematic. So they get the King Kong gun. Here comes Kairos, the card that's like hard as can be to get off of the board. We're on 5 here. So I think we play, what do we play? Do we just play the Ease? No, I think we keep the ISSHO for the 2K right now. We'll play, yeah, that. We got another blocker. We need to start utilizing the blocker. Next turn we'll be on, what, 7? So we'll see what happens. They took the life there, so that puts them at like 7 cards, which tells me they probably have done all the searching that they need to, unless they play like another Rebecca. Orlumbus, maybe another Kairos is going to come down. So they didn't get the on-play effect. There's Edio and Bartolomeo, so they're loading up on blockers here. So 5 into the 5. We will take this first life. Okay, ISSHO's good, and we do get a 2-drop counter. So on 7, if we want to keep 2 up for this, that only leaves us with 5. So I really want to get rid of the Kairos if possible. So we could get this on board. With 5. Well, I don't necessarily think we have to worry about Spider's Web, but then again, they do have the 2 blockers. So I'm kind of thinking we play an ISSHO and, well, no. So Kairos is 5. Let's just go ahead, since they don't have the stage, try to force out, yeah, the rest here. And it doesn't really matter. That's not going to do anything for us. We'll get some counters out of hand, if anything. Okay. And then we're on 7. So we'll set up the Bond Clay. That was a misplay. Yeah, we'll re-rest or restand the Kuzan, because knowing that we're probably going to use Bond Clay, it's kind of like a self-destruct button here. We want to try to keep bodies on the board. Oh, but the Sabo comes out, which negates this out. So this needs to stick for another turn, so we're not going to do anything. They just keep tossing Luffy's out like crazy. And a 10-drop Kuzan. Okay. So they use the Rebecca. And the Coliseum comes out. Great. So that just gives them rush, essentially, if they're Dressrosa. So Kairos. No block. I'll take 1. Okay, that does. Maybe. We would get 2 of them. So we're on 9. They're on 5. I really want to get rid of this Kairos, but then they also have like 3. Well, we can't this turn. unless we swing. So I think we're gonna drop ISSHO, which gives us 1 left over, which would be used to restand the Kuzan. So let's swing 5 with lead. They're gonna block with Sabo, probably. Wait, they're at 6. Yeah, let's go ahead and force 2 of those cards out. And then we'll leave 1 up to restand. I mean, it doesn't really matter. They're gonna take the block here more than likely. Yeah. And then we'll wait a turn. So we'll in-turn, really in-turn, card action, restand. So we can keep body on board. We will have to counter out of some stuff this turn, more than likely. They're going to keep Bartolomeo as a blocker. And there's Orlumbus. So Orlumbus to KO the Kairos. And then Sabo to cycle out some cards. And unless they get a Luffy on field soon, they're going to cycle through their deck. So no block, we'll throw a brand new and counter out. Sabo, no block, we will 2K out of that one. Alright, so we have a blocker of our own now. We're on 10-10. Oh, actually, this is great. This is exactly what I was talking about earlier. So if we play the Sabo, cycle through some cards, we have the Bond Clay. So, yeah, that would be 5. That leaves us with 5. We play 4. That leaves us with 1. Oh, wow, and then we could restand Bond Clay. Okay. So, or we can 10-drop Dofi. I think I want to focus on trying to maybe clear their board a little bit though. So if we go 5 into the 5, yeah, and then 5 into the 5, force 1 of the blockers maybe, cool, and then let's force another block out here. Yeah, because they're just gonna rest the Rebecca, and then we take and play the Sabo. Actually, that's great. So we can get rid of you. We can get rid of you, and then we can take you. No, wait. We want to go. We want to keep 1 to restand. Well, no, we're gonna probably. Well, no, we're not gonna lose this. So we want to restand this. So we want 1 for that, and then 2 and 2. Oh, it doesn't matter if they counter out. Duh. They can't use the ability anymore because they've tapped out both their resources. Oh wait, he's Saboed. He's got the Sabo effect too. Okay, my bad. I'm tripping. I'm tweaking. We could go 4. No, we just pass here. Really in card action. We're gonna restand Bond Clay. If they throw down another Sabo, I just, for some reason, even though it was like there in my face, I wasn't thinking about the fact that he was covered by Sabo. So I think that was why they were like going along with me. So I wasted my Sabo essentially. I mean, it's cool to have like the blocker on board. So Kairos. but I'm covered by Sabo. I think they made the same mistake I did. They're not realizing the Sabo effect is in play here. So, why are you swinging so big, my dude? 11 into the 9? So honestly, what, and this is 4 or less. So no block. Big guy, and then they can't really go big. I mean, they're gonna go into, so no block. Okay. We want to keep it, so I have to 2K out. They're just gonna swing with Orlumbus, unless I do this and tap their Orlumbus. That may not have been the play right there. We'll see. They're gonna want to keep both of their blockers up, yeah. But what's really cool here is I could just 10-drop their feet completely from their world. But I really don't want to do that. So, yeah, we're going to get rid of these Kairoses because we can restand our Sabo. So they're going to tap the Coliseum here. Yeah. And then, actually, that reducing this Sabo, I could tap it out, and that gives them one less blocker. I think that's what we do here, is we do that, and then we go with this into this. Basically playing break a board right now. Okay, so they blocked with that one, and then we go six into the Sabo, because even if they counter out, Bon Clay's effect's gonna kick in, and though we lose a body, that's fine, because they're gonna lose a blocker. Ah, but we keep our Bon. Oh wow, we keep our Bon Clay because they didn't counter out or anything. And then from there, I really want to take care of this Kairos. I know Orlumbus is going to be a bit of a problem, but that's fine. And then we have 7 left, so 4 for a blocker. And it leaves me 1 to restand something. Yeah. So we're going to deploy you and replace the ISSHO in the turn, card action, and I think what we do is we restand. I really want to restand this Bon Clay. But I think having 2 blockers, because they're only gonna have, well, they're only gonna have 3 swings maybe. Yeah, because if they go after ISSHO, we can Spider's Web and then just restand the ISSHO. As much as I want to deal with problematic things with Bon Clay, it is kind of what it is what it is. The question here is he gonna take care of ISSHO? No, it has to be with 0. So it's gonna be Kuzan, our block. Well, it can't be this blocker, and it can be, yeah, Sabo. Got you. Makes sense. So that was a waste of my ability. They couldn't do anything. So from here we want to keep 2 up at least. Maybe play this one. So it would be 5. We can play another blocker, so that would be, well, this is a blocker. So 5 for the blocker, 2 for this. That's 7. Which leaves me with 3. But I want to keep 1, so that leaves me with 2. Okay. We'll attack with Bon Clay first, because that way if they block it, okay. And then I know I should have swung with lead first, actually. Swing with lead. They're trying to get cards to hand. Sabo. Okay. So now that the Sabo is tapped. Do we go 7? No, I think we go 6 twice to force counters out of the hand. That's what we want to see. So they want to keep this blocker on field. Sure, make them think something's coming. Alright, cool. And now they cannot counter out of this. And so from there, we have 8. Yeah, because we do this, in turn, use card action, restand the Borsellino. We have 2 blockers now. They're at 11 cards in deck. That's crazy. So at this point, yeah, the video is definitely probably just going to be this one match. This match is like going way longer than I thought. If I could just survive, I think I'll deck them out. Which would be kind of like funny, because I honestly don't see that happen too often. Unless a Luffy comes down this turn, which it's not. So Dawn 1, they're going to attack active character. Oh, so that they can attack the Hina and I can't activate the Hina effect. Which is kind of crazy. If they want to give up the Dawn to do it. Oh, they just... What just happened? Oh, Orlumbus. They're just trashing cards like crazy. Yeah, I just survive a couple of turns, I guess. So 6. Attacking Borsellino. Wait, how... Oh, that's interesting. So, yeah, no block. We Spider's Web, resand the ISSHO, resolve. They're gonna swing with Big Borsy Boy. We block that. Actually, we just take it. I think. 5 into the 5. See what we get. Sabo. Okay, so yeah, that's good. They're not resting this. Interesting. I mean, we can 10 drop Dopey. It's whatevs, but I think Sabo's actually the play here. Unless we just do a bunch of poking. So we know they can't get out of the 9K swing. We need to keep 2 actually for the spider's web. We could play Sabo, which would be 7. That would leave us with 3. Can we survive if we don't go for their board? I don't think so. So let's just do this. As annoying as Cavendish is, I can take care of it here in a second. Yeah. So, and then from there, we only need 7, essentially. So, we'll go 6 into the Cavendish, reduce you by 4. Not that it's gonna do much. So we get rid of the Cavendish. That's actually amazing. We have 9 here, so 2 for that. So we're left with 2 here. We can keep 1 up to restand the Borsellino. Wait. Yeah, that's if we play this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep 2 up for a counter. Keep 1 up to restand, and that still leaves us with 1. So we'll throw. So 1 on Borsellino will. No, we're not going to swing with that. We're going to swing 5 here. Or 6, sorry. They're probably going to take. Okay, and then actually, if we need 2 more swings to connect, 2, 4, 6, 8. Let's just keep up. At this point, I think we'll just keep up the 3. We don't worry about the Sabo. So that leaves me with 5. 1, 2, 3. Swing 8. See if they counter out. They do not. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. GG. So, basically, we just outlasted them. That was a bit of a grind, but it shows you, honestly, the Bond Clay put in work, though the effect never went off. It still put in work more than I thought it would. So I do appreciate you guys watching. I'm going to try to get content out a little bit more consistently again. Like I said, things in life just got super crazy, super busy, and but things are kind of starting to settle back down. I'm getting a few things figured out, but I will have videos out just as soon as I can, as fast as possible, without, you know, downgrading the content. So I really do appreciate you guys. The support's been crazy, even with this little bit of a hiatus. The numbers have still kind of been slowly rising. The steady gain of subscribers is really nice, and I appreciate it that you guys come to the channel and check out the content I'm putting out. So if you are new here and you liked what you saw, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. I do like to put out videos as much as possible, and if you liked what you saw, hit the like button as well. So I'll see you out there on the Open Seas Pirates. Later.